Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Ladies Best Life podcast. I hope you're feeling epic today and you are ready to tackle the day, or maybe you're listening to this after the day has been and gone, and I hope you're feeling sensational. So today we are going to talk about the diet culture and realizing, when are we going to realize that the diet culture is conditioning us in a way that keeps us stuck? So we're going to talk about diet culture, we're going to talk about how it's conditioning you, and we're going to talk about how it is keeping us stuck as well. So diet culture, what is it? It's basically things like going on a fatty diet in order to lose weight. So keto, Cambridge, Slimming World, Juice Plus, what else is there? There are so many. I don't even know, like the cabbage diet. Weight Watchers, did I say that? You know what I mean. All of those ones that we've all heard about. Even let's go down the route of the lemon drizzle fat loss injection, which is not called lemon drizzle fat loss injection, but I find it hilariously funny when I talk about it every time and I call it lemon drizzle. All of them are diet culture. You've then got things like, so if we look at like food and demonizing food as well. So food is bad, right? So chocolate is bad. Or burgers are bad, and then you're like, I had a bad meal, therefore I'm a failure, therefore I'm just going to keep fucking having more bad meals, right? These are all little whispers of diet cultures. So things that you'd heard, like even look at, is it Weight Watchers that says sins for food? A sin, right? A sin is like this ungodly act, right? You're not meant to do it. And then they're calling certain foods, which are really not sinful, some of them. No food is sinful, but they're calling them a sin. So no wonder as women, we are like, oh my God, I can't have that food. Or we go into a complete pit of shame if we do have a certain type of food. So that is diet culture. And there are many things that come within that, such as you are only worthy and you are only lovable if you are a certain weight, shape, and size. Okay? So it's really interesting, and I want you just to kind of keep your ears and eyes open for your own behaviors and beliefs and also in other people. So how is it conditioning us? It's fucking everywhere. It's not like, oh, it's this tiny little part of our lives. It's everywhere. So you'll see it on dating apps, you'll see it on media, you'll see people talking about it. It is everywhere. That food is good and bad. You should treat yourself with a burger, and then it's work off your burger, work off your calories when you go into the gym. You will often see things like celebrities being shamed, not so much at the minute, I don't think, because of the rise of looking into this and helping to break down the limitations and the voice of diet culture. But people being was it Posh Spice, I think it was, and she was asked how much weight was it Posh Spice? I'm probably thinking out loud, and maybe I could have dreamt this, but I feel like she was weighed on stage not long after she had Brooklyn. I mean, fucking call the cops. What the hell? And there is so much pressure for people to be a certain weight, shape, and size. Now, you might think that me talking about this is contradictory because I help people to achieve a physical and mental transformation. But it's about where you're doing it from. Like the episode recently where we talked about this and we talked about you can't hate your way to a transformation. This is exactly what I'm talking about here. You can still lose weight. You can still go through a transformation. You can still want to work on your mind and unconditionally love yourself. You do not need to stay as you are if you are one of these people who represent and fully back and believe health at every size. You still can want to lose weight. Okay, and I've actually had someone who has joined my program recently who talked about this because she was like, oh, it just feels like such an internal conflict because I'm here being an advocate for loving yourself at every size, but I'm now in your program and I'm wanting to change my size and change my shape. I'm like, it doesn't mean that you need to come from a place of all or nothing or one or the other. You can tie both in. You can learn, and I actually advise this, to unconditionally fucking love yourself whilst going on a journey of seeing what your body can do, becoming fitter, becoming stronger. And yeah, there are certain ranges that we need to be within in order to be a healthy body weight. And I'm not talking about BMI because BMI is so fucking outdated. You've got some of the most stacked, healthiest, fittest rugby players who are morbidly obese on the BMI scale. So it's a little bit outdated, but there are definitely kind of healthy weight ranges for us to be in. So how do they keep us stuck? How does diet culture, how does the fact that it's conditioning us and getting into our minds, how does that keep us stuck? So we are convinced that we need to lose weight fast. We are told that you need to, like, okay, so drop 8 kilograms by next week. Drop 2 stone in Cambridge in 2 weeks. We are conditioned by that's a good thing to do. So one way that it keeps us stuck is it kind of like sits us into all or nothing. And I see this so much. So I really have to work hard with my ladies because healthy fat loss is between 1 and 2 pounds a week. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes we have people who go much faster than that and it's still healthy and sustainable. We have other people who go much slower than that. They are still making progress. They are still putting dividends into their future self and their health, and they are still going to get into the body that they want to be in. Okay, so, but if we look at the standpoint of average weight loss from a healthy standpoint is 1 to 2 pounds a week, then you've got Sandra on fucking Cambridge who's lost 2 stone in, let's say 3 weeks to be a bit more realistic. And you're there, like Sandra's your best mate, right? You started coaching club. She started, Cambridge. And you're now comparing. And Sandra's there like, oh, God, yeah, I've lost 2 stone in 3 weeks and I'm feeling great. It's like, yeah, Sandra, you haven't eaten anything for about 2 weeks. You're absolutely exhausted. And what is going to happen when you start eating again? It's all going to come back on. So where it can keep us stuck is it keeps us in comparison. So you compare your healthy transformation kind of process with an unhealthy diet culture way, and you want what they have, okay? But you can't have what they have unless you do what they do. But what is different is your intention, okay? You both want to lose weight. Sandra doesn't give a flying monkeys about the fact that she's probably not going to be able to keep hold of that weight loss long term. You do. You are sick of the cycle of being on a diet, off a diet. You are sick of the cycle of losing weight, feeling great, putting it all back on again. Hello, self-belief dropping like a motherfucker, okay? And this is where we now need to go, right, hone into your values. Because I am not stopping any of you who want to go down a dieting route from doing it. Do it. But like I said earlier, you come to me when you go, oh, Sash, I should have listened to you when we had that call 2 years ago. I should have joined you then. Because if I did, I'd be 2, 3, 4 stone lighter. And I will be learning the skills that I need to maintain it. Whereas actually I've done Cambridge, I've done Slimming World, I've done Keto, I've done Juice Plus, and I've lost weight, then I've gained weight. Then I've lost weight and I've gained weight. And I'm actually now a stone heavier than I was at the beginning. So that's how we stay stuck. So when you commit, I don't care if it's with me, with any other coach, with yourself, I don't care how you do this journey, but when you commit to do this the proper way, get your fucking blinkers on. Because you are going to have other people preach what they believe you need to be doing. You're also going to have them saying, oh, well, I'm doing this and I've lost this, right? You've got to have your blinkers on. You've got to trust back and believe in the process that you're doing and be as bloody stubborn as you can possibly be. And sure, if after 6 months you've lost no weight, honey, we need to make some changes, right? Okay, we do need to make some changes. But a lot of the time, it's just not as fast as you want it to be. And this is where we operate and live in the gap in between expectation and reality. You expect to lose weight like you would on a shitty diet, but because we're doing it the healthy way, it takes a bit longer sometimes. And it's all about sustainability, so we're creating and forming a lifestyle around it. But because we're expecting something that we're not getting, that's when we go, what's the point? I'm not seeing results, so what's the point? So that is one way that it can keep you stuck. Now, another thing that I wanted to address, because the rise of the lemon drizzle injections is just so annoying at the minute, and I'm seeing it everywhere, and people are being like, so people in CC are like, oh, my sister's on on the weight loss injection, so-and-so's on the weight loss injection, so-and-so's doing it, and I'm like, okay, cool. The moment they stop injecting their ass with lemon drizzle is the moment they're going to gain weight. Weight loss injections work by suppressing your hunger hormones. That can only exist for a small period of time. There has recently been a study that has been released, and the negative impact of weight loss injections is fucking monumental. Anyone who is telling you it's safe does not understand, okay? Anyone who is telling you it's safe has not done extensive research. They don't understand the human body, and they really should be, I don't know, like punished is the wrong word, but they should be held to account for the shit that they're selling. So just be mindful, team, because what happens, and this is where comparison comes in, like we just spoke about, what happens when you go down the route of injecting to lose weight is you're going to lose weight because you're not going to be hungry. Like, look at people's faces who are on these injections. They are tired. They have no vibrancy. They have nothing to give when it comes to exercise. Like, do you see any of them running 10Ks? Do you see them in the gym? No, you just see the fact that they are just shrinking. So they're going to have no sculpt, no shape. But when you lose weight that way, you then have that expectation. So then when you come to do it in the proper way, like I said earlier, so instead of just comparing to Sandra, you actually compare with yourself and how you've done things before. And this is where that self-love piece that I talked about recently needs to be huge, because you need to fucking back yourself and be like, okay, it's a bit slower. I knew it was going to be a bit slower. I'm working on all the other things at the same time. I'm creating and building a healthy lifestyle at the same time, but I back this. I am going to keep putting one foot in front of the next. It's like if you and I were to go to a forest, right? And we wanted to get through the forest. And you said to me, Sash, like, I don't know how we're going to do this because I can't see the other side of the forest. I can't see how I'm going to get there. We only need to focus on the first step, then the next step, then the next step. You don't need to see your way immediately. You don't need to jump across the forest. And it's the same with fat loss. Every single element, every single part of this journey, you're going to be growing and evolving. You're going to be losing weight. You're going to be putting dividends into your future health if you do it the right way. We don't need to lose that weight right now, although desperation in you will say that you do. You have got time. And if you've got people or a coach or whatever in your corner who are going to help you on this journey, it makes it so much easier, because they help you to understand what is the next move. Rather than you just throwing shit at a wall and hoping it will stick, we will give you an exact strategy of what you need to do. Another way that diet culture keeps us stuck is it actually makes us feel exhausted. So any of like rapid diets that you're looking at doing put you in such a deficit. Because if we look at the science, right, to lose weight, we need to be in an energy deficit. To lose a pound a week, you need to be in a deficit of 7,000 calories, okay? So that's what you need to do. Actually, it's not 7,000, it's 3,500. 3,500 calories is what you need to be in a deficit of if you want to lose a pound a week, okay? Now, some of you might be like, oh shit, like how do I calculate that? If you're at step one, the first thing you need to do is log for a week. Log absolutely everything accurately, as you literally, like, there is no question around your accuracy. Log for a week and then just take, 50 to 100 off every day. Okay, because just by the act of logging in itself creates more mindfulness, which then reduces overeating and indulging. So you already create a deficit in week one without meaning to. Then in week two, we don't want to take a massive drop off, because you're going to be all or nothing. You're going to be hungry. You're going to be like, oh my God, this is too much. I'm too tired. I can't keep this up. So we have to do it steady. To get to the end result, you have to do it at a pace that is good for you to sustain. Think about the tortoise and the hare. It's exactly the same here. So diet culture way keeps you exhausted. It pulls you away from doing other things that are good for yourself, good for your health, and that is going to honor you and your people around you long term. So making sure that you are aware of this, like, would you rather go for it where you get there really fast, you have to sacrifice life in the way to get there, and you can't keep it when you get there, but you've lost 2 stone in 2 weeks? Or would you rather feel energized, feel happy, feel connected? You're losing weight, you're seeing progress in other areas, you're getting stronger in the gym, you're getting stronger in, I don't know, running or whatever is your bag, right? All these things are happening, and you know when you get there, it may have taken longer, but you get there and you stay there. Surely that's what we all want. Feeling good, embedding it into your life is essential. And I say that probably 1,000,000 times a day, and I will continue to say it until you feel it's starting to land. And one frame that I want you to think about before I give you some kind of tips to help you navigate away from diet culture. Would you put your kid on this diet? Would you encourage your child to eat in this way? Would you inject your daughter with the lemon drizzle injection? Would you deprive them of food when they're hungry? No? Why do you do it to yourself? Just like the podcast last week, it links to self-love. It links to desperation. It links from you wanting to get somewhere in such a rapid way that you don't care that it's going to impact your health. And if you, imagine if you said to your kid, right, you've put on a few pounds. Obviously, you wouldn't say that. You've put on a few pounds. I'm now going to starve you. It's not going to be very nice. But for the next 2 weeks, you're going to have 500 calories a day, but you're going to get there fast. Imagine what that would do to your relationship. Imagine how you would feel. Ladies, it is no different to yourself. Give yourself what you honor, what you deserve, what you need. Be patient, be calm, play the long game. So if we're moving away from diet culture, because this was a lady who joined us a couple of weeks ago, she was like, I just don't get it, Sash. I've always done things in a way of massively restrict in order to get to where I want to get to. But if I'm not going to do it that way, I don't get how the fuck we're going to do this. Let me show you. So some of the ways inside my program, the Coaching Club Worldwide, that we do to help you to achieve a lifelong transformation, firstly, is the 80-20 rule. 80% of the time, we are going to be prioritizing wholesome, nutritious food. Anything that comes from the ground and anything that moves. Not processed, ideally. Okay? 80% of the time. Fruit, veg, salad. People think veg and salad are different, so I'll just say that. Fruit, veg, salad, meat, fish. Boom. If you want to add some rice in there, go for it. I know pasta is processed, but if that's your bag, go for it. Think about food that is nutritionally dense. You know what that is. Nutritiously dense. Sorry, I said that wrong. You know what that food is. 80% of the time, you're going to eat that. What does that look like? Avo and eggs on toast for breakfast. A big hearty chicken salad for lunch. Meat, potatoes, and veg for dinner. Simple, right? Stir fry, whatever. It's really simple foods. It's just not processed shit. It's not packed full of sugar. It's not a takeaway. And you can make it taste so banging. There are so many ways to make your food taste and feel, and you to feel amazing after eating them. So that's one thing that we have is 80-20. Because the 20% of the time, do what you like. I had an almond croissant this morning. It was absolutely banging. I'm going to go out for steak and chips tomorrow. Can't wait. You might enjoy a glass of Pinot. You might enjoy Maltesers. Whatever you want for 20%. The second thing that we do is we focus on making sure that you categorically get your 5 a day in, because if the NHS recommend it, it is the bare bones minimum. Okay, so we need to make sure that we're getting that. So 5 a day, and then protein with every meal. So some sort of lean meat. Some people are veggie, so you could go down the route of alternatives. And I know that does contradict a little bit with what I've just said about not going down the ultra-processed route, but needs must, right? Protein with every meal could be adding some protein powder into your breakfast. porridge, yogurt, whatever. You could be having eggs for breakfast. There are so many ways to get it in. Think about smoothie. You might want to make like a spirulina smoothie and add some vanilla protein powder in there. There are so many ways, but you've just got to think a bit differently. And the third thing, and I have told you guys this before, but I'm going to just remind, just in case there's anyone new listening to this, one bad meal, not followed by another bad meal. Now, like I said earlier, demonizing food groups is not what we're after. Saying a meal is bad or food is bad is diet culture. So when I say that, I don't want you to think, oh, bad, like pizza, bad, or donut, bad. No, okay, we're not going to go down that route. All I want you to think is one less nutritiously, why am I struggling with that word today? One less nutritiously dense meal wants to be followed by one that's more nutritiously dense. Okay, so say for example, you have pizza, fucking great for the soul, not so great for the body. Okay, and I don't mean in regards to weight, I just mean in regards to health, okay? So if we're going to have that for dinner, the following morning, let's make sure that we're having something with nutrients in. How many portions of fruit and veg can you get in? Okay, how many herbs and spices can you add? How can we optimize your health in that next meal? Because what can often happen, say for example, you have a Mackey's breakfast muffin for breakfast. Obviously for breakfast, because I said breakfast muffin. If you have a breakfast muffin, right, what sometimes people can do is then, oh, I fucked it now. What's the fucking point? I'm just going to carry on going. No, okay? Stop that inner child from reacting. Remember the self-love. You wouldn't give your child multiple fucking ice cream, so why would you do it for yourself? Now let's go down the route of what can we have for lunch that's nutritiously dense? It could still be a sandwich, but have some bloody salad on the side of it. How can we get those colors in? The next thing is to incorporate movement. Like I've said before, I don't care how you move, I just care that you move. I don't care how long you move for, I just care that you move. 10 minutes is better than no minutes. Manage your expectations, make it fit into your life, and make it fucking fun. The next one is prioritize sleep and recovery. And for those of you who are baby mamas and your babies are waking up all the time, it is harder, but it is still doable. We can still nap when the kid naps. We can still ask our partner to help out a little bit more with the nighttime routine. There are ways around it, and it's unique and different for absolutely everybody. So I can't give you a blanket answer, but I can help you to just think slightly differently and think outside the box. When our energy is, so we often do this thing called the energy scale. 1 is you are absolutely fucked. 10 is you're feeling fantastic. If you're anything below a 7, we need to focus on bringing your energy up before we slam you into a deficit, before we push your performance in the gym. So how can we build that energy up for you? And it's these small things. Rome was not built in a day, and it's not about the big monumental things that you can't be consistent about. It's about the daily boring shit every day. And then finally, probably the most important thing that we do inside CC is learn to regulate your emotions. We see so many people who are frustrated, stressed, and they eat their emotions. They're sad, they eat their emotions. They are bored, and they go to the fridge. They are exhausted on a Friday night, so they order a massive pizza and have a bottle of wine. Imagine if you could go, I'm tired, so I'm going to go to bed earlier. Or, I'm stressed. What do I need to voice? Who do I need to speak to? Who do I need to say no to? I'm overwhelmed. Okay, let's write a bit of an overwhelm map. Do a mind map, put overwhelm in the middle, put everything coming off it. What are you overwhelmed about? Now it looks pretty simple now it's out of my head. Frustrated. How are you frustrated? What are you frustrated at? Who do you need to speak to? Do you need to voice something? Regulating your emotions, I believe, is a skill that should be taught at school, but unfortunately it's not. Children then don't learn how to regulate their emotions because their parents aren't regulating their emotions, and then we have a fucking world full of people who can't regulate their emotions, who snap, who react, who don't respond, who soothe themselves with food rather than what we actually need. So there are some ways that you can break free from diet culture. You can get yourself unstuck and get yourself the physique, the mind, the body, the whole life transformation that you crave. Because like I always say, every single one of you are more than capable of doing this. You just haven't learned the skills to do it. Any questions, let me know. If not, have a fantastic day and I will see you next week.